Okay, so I just wanted to review the division with you and make sure that you really understood. So these models are division by whole number, or multiplication, sorry, not division, multiplication by a whole number. So like this one, it says, what multiplication expression does the model represent? Well, if you look, you have one blue, one red, one green, one purple, one yellow. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different models. So that means your whole number is going to be 5. So 0.005 is out. And this one is good. So we have three answer choices that have 5 groups. Okay, because your whole number is the number of groups. Then we look at how many are shaded. So we only really need to count 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 are shaded. So let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there's going to be 16 shaded in each group, right? Which is 16 hundredths. So we have 5 models, and there are 16 out of 100 shaded in each one of those models. So we have to look and see which answer choice represents that equation. 5 models, so 5 whole, and 16 hundredths shaded in each. Okay, on the second one, which equation matches the model? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it went into the second model. So that means my answer is 1 whole and 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. 24 out of 100. So that tells me it's either A or C, because I have 1 whole model shaded, so that's a whole. I have 2 tens, 2 columns, so that's 2 rows of 10. That's 20, and then 4 individuals, so that's 4 100ths. So I have 24 shaded out of this one. That's 1 whole and 24 hundredths. So that tells me my answer is either A or C. Now let's look. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. So 4 whole numbers. And then I have to count how many are in each group. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. There are 31 squares shaded in each of those different colored sections. So that means my answer would be A, 4 groups times 31 blocks or 31 hundredths shaded in each of those groups. And the total is 1 whole model and 24 hundredths of the second. So your answer would be A. Okay? So that is multiplying the decimal times a whole number. Now let's look at multiplying decimal times a decimal. Okay? On a decimal times a decimal model, it's going to show you 1 vertical and 1 horizontal. In this case, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tenths is your horizontal. So this is my horizontal model of 6 tenths. And that one didn't get shaded. And this is my, oh my goodness, Miss Rochelle's losing it. This is my vertical, which is up and down. That's 6 tenths. This is my horizontal, which is side to side. So I have 6 tens shaded, 6 columns of 10. And then I have 9 rows or 9 horizontals, rows shaded of purple. And then what they overlap is your answer. So your answer would be everything shaded this different color. Okay, same thing with number 4, sorry. This is your vertical, which is up and down, 3 tens or 3 rows, 3 columns of 10. This is your horizontal, 7 rows. Rows are side to side. Okay, so 3 tenths on 7 tenths, and then this crazy brownish color here is your answer. Now, look at when you have a decimal times a decimal, but you have a whole number in there. So this is 5 tenths times 1 and 7 tenths. So the yellow is my 1 and 7 tenths. That's 1 whole model shaded and 7 tens. So I have 1 whole model and 7/10. So that's 1 whole model and 7 vertical. And then the 5/10 shaded horizontal goes all the way across both models. Okay, I shaded 5/10 of this model and 5/10 of this model because where they overlap is in both answers. And when you add them up, you get 85 out of 100. So 85 hundredths. Okay? Same thing with number 5. 7/10 times 1 2/10. So 1 2/10 is the yellow. I shaded one whole model. So this whole base flat, this whole flat, all 100 of them are shaded yellow, and then 2 columns of the second model. Okay, that's 1 2/10. 7/10 was my horizontal, and it goes all the way across both models. And then here's your answer, where they overlap. Okay, so make sure you understand how to read those. If you haven't done those problems on Google Classroom through the teacher-made assignment, you need to get that done. Okay, if I'm doing the algorithm, 24 and 5/10 times 11, I'm just going to write 245 times 11. Remember, we just write it like there's no decimal. After you've written the problem, then you go back and add your decimal. It was between the 4 and the 5 in my original, so I put it between the 4 and 5 here. And then we multiply as usual. 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 2 is 2. Right? Nothing to tick because we didn't carry. Tack, we're going to mark out the ones place, and then O for my whole placeholder. Now I'm going to multiply 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2, and then we add everything up. 5, 9, 6, 2. And then I'm going to look. I have a decimal with one number behind it. So I need to have one number behind the decimal in my answer. So it's going to be between the 9 and the 5. Okay, so make sure you fully understand. If you don't, send me a message through Clever, and we can have a Google Meet separately. That way you can meet by yourself so you can make sure you understand, because multiplying decimals is a big concept that you will see on your STAR test this year. It will also be tested heavily on your CBA this 9 weeks. So let's make sure that we completely understand multiplying decimals. You will also be getting the dividing decimals video soon. So please make sure that you watch it and take your notes. All notes need to be copied into your journal so that you're keeping up with what we're doing. Okay?